Here Wednesdays live with Diane, that's me. So we normally start about 10 a.m. every Wednesday morning for Self-Care Wednesdays. So I wanted to convey a little bit of a story with you and share it with you. This is something I experienced recently, and a little bit of the lateness today was due to that, and I just wanted to savor it for a little bit, and so I thought I'd share it with you. So here it goes. Picture this. You're at your home office, totally on a roll, working, with ease. Everything's flowing nicely, and you're working on a project. And out of nowhere, everything stops loading. Whether we like to admit it or not, we've grown to depend a lot on the internet. We may even feel a little bit lost. Some of us may feel a little bit panicked without access. This is especially if you don't have a backup plan as to what else to do, different ways to get through that particular project or that day without it. Do we have backup plans where it's more low-key, low-tech that we can rely on when stuff like that happens, right? And how do we react? What's our emotional temperature at that point? Like I just said, you might feel a little lost, a little sort of panicked. So for me, I was aware of the problem before anything dramatic could occur. So I was able to find a little bit of an ebb and flow there for myself. And I could sort of think, well, okay, I just won't do this, and I'll put that aside, and I won't be able to do this for a day, and I won't be able to do that for a day. I can still text, so I'll text a few people here and there to let them know what's going on, that kind of thing, right? And that was impromptu, right? There wasn't anything really, 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 really pressing. And yet there was to some extent. So anyways, breathing through it, right? Okay. So here's what I did when the unexpected happened. I started to continue to reflect on what's my need, the most pressing need right now. So I did some work around my home, and I also did some low-key stuff regarding the project that I was working on. Like I said, I text, or I did some note-taking with pen and or pencil. Remember those? Pen, pencil, right? Without having to click a screen on and type it in on a notebook that's digital. Yeah, I pulled out some pen and paper. I love still using pen and paper to write my notes down, and I used more so the digital stuff as backup, just in case. So in that case, I was okay. So it was like, whew, right? I still had that low-key old school vibe going on with that. Another thing I noticed as well, by working on things at home, when I finished whatever low-key things I could do towards the work that I was working on that required the internet, I thought initially, which to some degree still does, I then looked around my home and thought, okay, what else can I do around the home that needs my attention that I've been putting off, since I've been so absorbed with trying to get some work done on the internet the day before. So then what I did was I looked around the home and saw little things that I needed to do, and I did those. And I thought, okay, I can't access all of that stuff on the internet through my desktop like I thought. So let's do this. So I went ahead and found things that I would have been putting on in the world around me, right? So did that. Another thing I also found myself doing was looking at my human interaction. Now, what I've always tried to do is, no matter how absorbed work gets, I always make sure that I try and do something very human interactive without a screen in front of me, okay? Much like how a lot of our workloads now, or our interaction with our clients or our students or our patients, are online, so we're constantly seeing people via the screen, and some of you are still seeing people in person, but then that's a strain because of all the protocols and everything like that. So for myself, I thought to myself, okay, interacting with other humans. I won't be able to do my screen time with anyone pertaining to my business right now. So I'm gonna basically interact with a neighbor or to that effect, find someone that I can see in person, in other words, in order to just interact. And it turns out I didn't really require seeing someone, let's say going out and doing something like that, because I liked the quiet in my space. And at the same time, a neighbor was going to be coming by because she had contacted me and said she was going to be coming by. So she came by and we had a nice chat. It was so wonderful. And it was though it was expected, it was even more pleasurable because it was a nice touching base with someone. And we always try to keep in touch with our neighbors around here. So that's always a plus, I think, for living in a great, cozy neighborhood. I think it's just a beautiful space in any case. So, came by, dropped off a bushel of apples. Was it a bushel? Anyways, it was a nice little basket of apples, which was really nice from her apple orchard. So, which was really nice. So there you go. There's that nice interaction, that talk, and everything like that. So that's just an example I'm showing you for that day in particular, to have those elements throughout that really touched on the nostalgic element of what can be sometimes forgotten or lost when we rely so much on the internet. Now, there are a bunch of other little things that happened. Like I spent a really wonderful time with myself, just reading up, catching up on things that I love reading, and I gave myself a little break on that day when that happened. So I mentioned earlier that the slowing down of and use of an internet today happened as well. There was a little glitch that continued from that time, and I was able to fix it earlier this morning, but it took a little while, so hence the delay. So that's where that connection came in. So I just thought I'd share that story with you. I know there's a bunch of little things that happened that really reminded me why I love spending time without any sort of access to internet. And so when something like this happened, I thought to myself, interesting how this is. And so, I went through my whole process of how connection can happen, how it can't happen, and looking at that, and thought I would share that with you today. So I'm going to put this question out to you. What kind of backup plan do you have for the fact that you may or may not have access to internet on a particular day that you have a project due, or you have to access a whole group of people online who are waiting for you to teach them something, if you are a teacher or if you are someone who's doing an online presentation? What do you do when those things happen? How do you handle it? And last question, how are you breathing at that point? Because I tell you, it does test how you cope with things, right? So I'll pass on what I practice all the time whenever things come out unexpected on a particular day at a particular time. Just focus in on your breath and make sure you're breathing into your nose and out of your nose just to calm yourself down, okay? Because that's one big tip I can tell you. And don't worry about it. The internet always pops back up, especially around this time. They're really trying hard out there to try and make sure we all stay online and keep in touch with each other as best as possible anyways. And never fear. But if in fact it's down for a little bit longer than you would wish or expect or want, just know that you still have that human interaction that you can do. So find someone if you need to get that human connection, find someone to talk to, or spend some time on your own and self-reflect and read and make yourself tea, or make yourself a little bit of something soothing for yourself. That's something that you've forgotten that you love doing. Find something that you love to do, right? All right, so that's my little insight for you. So now that we've all pictured that, Leave your comments down below and let me know what you thought of this little insight. I just wanted to share a little something because we're all going through different things, right? Regarding this whole internet thing. Anyways, with that said, I want you to enjoy your day, and I hope you had a wonderful long weekend and a very, very warm Thanksgiving. And I look forward to talking to you soon. I'll see you on Saturday for, of course, guided visualization. No, guided visualization was on Monday, which was Thanksgiving Day, but coming up on Saturday, mindfulness meditation with me, of course, and it's at 10 a.m. All right, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy your day. Namaste.